Imagine a still lake, its surface a mirror reflecting the serenity of the sky above. Now, picture beneath the surface unseen currents churning, a maelstrom of insecurity and fear. This is often the reality of those who wield power through force, who mistake dominance for strength. Their outward calmness masks an internal struggle, a desperate attempt to quell their own vulnerabilities by subjugating others. True power doesn't reside in intimidation or control. It's not about puffing oneself up by diminishing others. This approach to power is a facade, a fragile fortress built on a foundation of fear. It's unsustainable, ultimately crumbling under the weight of its own negativity. True power comes from a place of self-awareness and compassion. It's about recognizing our shared humanity and understanding that lifting others up ultimately elevates us all. When we approach life and relationships with kindness and generosity, we tap into a wellspring of authentic strength. This strength is enduring because it's rooted in love, not fear. It empowers us to connect deeply, build meaningful relationships, and create a positive impact on the world around us. History offers countless examples of leaders who mistook cruelty for strength. They built empires on the backs of the oppressed, their legacies forever tainted by the suffering they inflicted. Think of the pharaohs who drove their people to build grandiose monuments, or the dictators who silenced dissent with violence. These rulers might have held sway for a time, but their power was fleeting, built on fear and coercion, rather than genuine respect or admiration. This illusion of power, this belief that we must tear others down to elevate ourselves, is a dangerous trap. It creates a culture of fear and mistrust, where vulnerability is seen as weakness and empathy is mistaken for naivete. In such an environment, true connection becomes impossible, replaced by a transactional approach to relationships where people are valued only for what they can offer. This approach to power is ultimately self-defeating. It isolates us, breeds resentment, and creates a ripple effect of negativity that can poison entire communities and even nations. The consequences of choosing hurt over help are far-reaching and devastating. When we prioritize our ego over empathy, we create a wasteland of broken relationships and missed opportunities for growth and connection. We may achieve temporary victories, but at what cost? The price we pay is often a profound sense of loneliness, a realization that our pursuit of power has left us disconnected from the very people we sought to control. Consider the workplace bully who belittles their colleagues to assert dominance. They might instill fear, but they also foster resentment and stifle creativity. In the end, their behavior creates a toxic environment that harms everyone, including themselves. True leadership, on the other hand, involves inspiring and motivating others, creating a space where everyone feels valued and empowered to contribute their best work. This principle applies not just to the workplace, but to all our relationships. When we choose to hurt rather than help, we chip away at the foundation of trust and intimacy. Over time, these wounds can fester, leading to resentment, anger, and ultimately a breakdown of connection. In stark contrast to the destructive nature of power through force, there's a different kind of power, one rooted in empathy, kindness, and the desire to empower others. Think of leaders like Nelson Mandela, who emerged from decades of imprisonment not with bitterness, but with a message of forgiveness and reconciliation. Or Malala Yousafzai, who risked her life to advocate for the education of girls, her courage inspiring millions around the world. These individuals understand that true strength lies not in dominance, but in our capacity for compassion and connection. They recognize that when we lift others up, we not only empower them, but we also elevate ourselves. We create a virtuous cycle of positivity, where kindness begets kindness, and collaboration leads to collective success. This approach to power is not about being a pushover or shying away from difficult conversations. It's about engaging with the world from a place of empathy and understanding. recognizing that everyone is fighting their own battles. It's about approaching disagreements as opportunities for growth and understanding, rather than as battles to be won or lost. The first step towards embracing the power of kindness is to understand the roots of our own insecurities and fears. What drives us to tear others down? Is it a need for validation? A fear of not being enough? By honestly confronting these inner demons, we can begin to heal and cultivate a more compassionate and empathetic approach to the world. This process of self-reflection is not always comfortable. It requires us to confront our own vulnerabilities and acknowledge the ways in which we may have hurt others in the past. However, it's through this process of self-discovery that we can begin to dismantle the harmful patterns of behavior that prevent us from experiencing the true joy of connection. Think of it like tending to a garden. We need to pull out the weeds of insecurity and self-doubt, nurture the soil of our hearts with self-compassion, and plant the seeds of kindness and empathy. It's an ongoing process, but the rewards are immeasurable. True power lies in connection, in building bridges of understanding rather than walls of separation. It's about recognizing our shared humanity and understanding that we are all interconnected. When we approach life with this mindset, we open ourselves up to a world of possibilities. We discover the joy of collaboration, the satisfaction of working together towards a common goal. We learn to appreciate the beauty of diversity, recognizing that our differences are not something to be feared but celebrated. We begin to see the world through a lens of empathy, understanding that every interaction, no matter how small, has the potential to create a ripple effect of positivity. Imagine a world where leaders prioritize collaboration over competition, where differences are valued as strengths, and where success is measured not by individual achievements, but by the collective well-being of all. This is the world we can create when we embrace the power of connection. Choosing kindness is not a sign of weakness, but an act of courage. It's about consciously choosing to engage with the world from a place of love, even when it's difficult. It's about recognizing that our actions have consequences, and that even small acts of kindness can have a profound impact on the lives of others. When we choose kindness, we not only make the world a better place, but we also transform ourselves. We cultivate a sense of inner peace and fulfillment that comes from knowing we are living in alignment with our values. We become beacons of hope, inspiring others to do the same. Imagine the ripple effect if we all committed to choosing kindness in our daily lives. What if, instead of tearing each other down, we focused on building each other up? What if, instead of seeing differences as threats, we embraced them as opportunities for growth and understanding? The possibilities for positive change are limitless. The legacy we leave behind is not determined by the size of our bank accounts or the titles we hold, but by the impact we have on the lives of others. Do we leave behind a trail of brokenness and resentment, or a legacy of love, kindness, and empowerment? The choice is ours. We can choose to cling to the illusion of power through dominance and control, or we can embrace the true power that comes from lifting others up. We can choose to be remembered for our capacity for compassion, our willingness to forgive, and our unwavering belief in the power of human connection. Let us choose wisely, for the well-being of ourselves, our communities, and our world depends on it.